Hello everyone, welcome to Spring Boot tutorial series by JR Academy and thanks for joining again. So this is tutorial 6 Spring Boot runners and this is gonna be very small tutorial, but it is important to know because in advanced topics sometimes we have to use this. So in this tutorial we will discuss topics such as what is Spring Boot runner, why we need these runners and how to use them. So if you haven't watched my previous tutorial, I recommend watching them. It will help you to understand more about Spring Boot. So let's get started with this tutorial. So first question is, what is runner? So it is an interface, more precisely it is a functional interface to run code, and it will be executed exactly after Spring Boot application started. So that's why it is important. So a functional interface meaning it has only one method inside it, a run method, and it is an interface, so you cannot make an object out of it. You have to implement it in your class. And Spring Boot will automatically will call the this run method after it finishes the application starting. Spring Boot automatically will call the run method of all beans implementing this interface after application context has been loaded. There are two types of runners we have in Spring Boot. One is command line runner and second one is application runner. And both are functional interfaces with only method run. So next question is, what is the difference between these two? And we have only one difference here, and that one is application runner is little bit advanced and it gives little bit more control over arguments. So command line runner takes array of string in argument, whereas application runner takes application argument object, which gives a little bit more control over the argument of the run function. So next question we have is why we need this runner with the application. So what happened exactly is, once we initialize our container, we don't have control over our code, right? And let's say if we want to do some task before, after starting our application, but before starting our actual business logic. So to give this control, we have this runner. And we can use runner to know some important beans are created or not, and you can make some validation process about some important beans, or you can initialize few things if needed. So let's say you want to add some data in your database or in application, or globally in your application. So you can use runner to do that, and you can retrieve data from other microservices or other data source and load it here. And in Spring Batch we usually use this. So there are so many other application of these too, but just only thing we need to keep in mind is it will be executed exactly after our application started. So based on our requirement we can use it. So now let's go to our Eclipse and see some example of it. So for demo purpose, what I have done is I have created one small Spring Boot project in my Eclipse, and here we're gonna code. So our first approach was to implement our command line and application runner interface here in our main class file. So I'm gonna implement that command line runner, and if I go inside this command line, I can see I have one and only one method, which is run, and it is a functional interface, and it is showing me error because I have to implement that run class. So as I mentioned in previous tutorials, I'm going to show you the shortcuts for that, shortcuts of the Eclipse, and there is one shortcut for creating our overridden methods. So to override the method, I can go here in source, and if I see here, I have option called override or implement methods. If I click here, it is showing me that I have to implement run method from this command line interface, and if I hit enter, it creates this code for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write simple print statement here to show you. So our print statement, to write our print statement, there is another shortcut called sysout, and if I hit control and space, it is showing me this, and if I hit enter, it prints this for me. And here I'm going to write hello from command line runner. So if I run this application, and you can see here it is starting our application, and at the end it will print that run statement. If you see here, we have hello from command line runner. So this all log is from our application startup, and after finishing our application startup, it is calling our method. So this is how we can use command line runner. And the same way we can use application runner. So what I'm going to do is I'm implementing another one, application runner, and I am overriding that same method again. So I'm going source and then implement, and now it is showing me application runner run method. And if I hit OK, and same way if I hit sysout, and then I gonna print hello from application runner. If I'm saving this, and if I run this method, if I run this application, I can see it is starting our application and printing the both these statements. Yeah, if you see here, we have it is printing both the statements. So it is calling that both the function after finishing the startup. So this was our first approach to use command line runner and application runner. And our second approach for using this runner was using beans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these things first, and I'm going to delete these things also. And now we need to create another class and implement this method inside it. So we have this package, and inside this package I'm going to create class. I'm going to create one class saying runner, and I'm going to implement. So to implement any interface, at the time of creation, Eclipse is giving us one option. In this interface tab, I can go in add, and here I can type command line runner, and it will automatically implement those methods for me. So if I go here, it is showing me that runner class, and it implements our command line runner, and also it override that method. So here I can write our sysout, and here I can say hello from bean command line. And if I am saving this, now I have to create the beans out of it. So I'm going to use bean annotation, which is a part of @configuration annotation, and it will return runner method. And let me give a name, get runner, and if I hit enter, and here I need to return the object of that. So object is new runner. So here we have used bean annotation, and we are returning the object of runner, and this runner object have implemented the run method of this command line. So what is going to happen here is when we will load this class in our container here, container will encounter this bean definition, and it will see the object of this, and once it see the object of this, it will call this run method out of it. So let me run this and let's see what happens. So if I run this, and so if you see here, it is printing hello from bean command line. So this is the second approach to use command line runner or application runner with bean definitions. So after this, we have another option to use @component annotation. So this is gonna be new for you, but just keep in mind this is a part of Spring Boot annotations. So what I'm going to do is I'm writing @component here, and this class is now a part of Spring Boot. This class is a component of Spring Boot application. We will discuss this annotation in detail in upcoming videos, but just keep in mind that if I put the component here, then this class becomes the part of the Spring Boot. So at the time, so what's going to happen is when we supply this EMP application inside this container, it's going to come across with this annotation, and this, we all know this annotation is a combination of three annotations, and second annotation was component scan. So at the time of scanning, it will scan our code, and it will come across with this @component, and it will create a bin out of it. So I don't need this bin definition here now, so I'm going to delete, and if I run this, So after finishing starting of our application, it is printing this line which is coming from here. So this is the power of runners, and you can put here any logic to initialize some data, to add some features, to add some properties, and you can run this exactly after our application startup. So that's all for now, and see you in next tutorial, and till then, like, subscribe, and keep learning. Thank you very much.